Mike, talk to me a little bit about what happened. Our colleagues have been speaking to you in the last few weeks. Things felt fine. What happened in the last few days?
Yeah, Taylor, thank you for having me on. Michael, good to be here with you today. I would start here. We continue to do everything we can to fight COVID-19 and support healthcare workers here at home. We've ramped up our production in the U.S. as quickly as possible. We saw this early in January and ramped up production capacity that we keep idle for just these kinds of situations. So we are working to expand that. We're focused on delivering as much as we can in April. And the narrative overnight that we're not doing everything to maximize the delivery of respirators in our home country is false. Nothing could be further from the truth. And the idea that 3M is not doing all it can to fight price gouging and unauthorized reselling is absurd. And we have been at the front lines of really leading this as we've gone through it. So that narrative is, for all the 3Mers that have dedicated so much time and effort to really lead the fight here, it was disappointing to hear that narrative overnight.
It's always hard to know exactly what the White House is talking about, but in this case, it seems that the president heard a report that you are selling some of these masks to Canada and into Latin America, which, as I understand it, has been a common business practice for you.
Yeah, we have, under normal circumstances, we produce about 19 million respirators, 20 million respirators a month in the U.S. 90% of that goes to industrial customers, and a portion of that goes to Canada and Latin America to serve customers there. In a crisis like this, we double that output, and we shift to 90% plus to healthcare, only supporting key industries like pharmaceutical manufacturing or food production. And so we continue to support Canada and Latin America. It's part of our strategy. We have excess capacity to bring online. This COVID fight is like nothing we've seen. The demand is so much greater. So we are trying to do everything we can to bring capacity into the U.S. while we still serve Canada and Latin America, where we are often the sole supplier of healthcare workers in those countries. So we have expanded our capacity. We'll ramp up another 5 million respirators in the month of April. We now have just got agreement to be able to export 10 million N95 respirators from our China manufacturing into the U.S. And so we are stepping up, and we are bringing more production online in June. So we'll get up to 50 million plus what we can bring from China. So we're a net importer into the U.S., even though we continue to serve Canada and Latin America with a small amount of that production. It's less than 10% of our normal production. And so it becomes a humanitarian issue that we have to try to balance, and we are at the same time maximizing everything we can bring to U.S. healthcare workers.
Mike, is there price gouging of some of these masks? How far down the supply chain through the customer, really, are you able to control prices?
Yeah, and on price gouging, it's good to be clear here. We are manufacturing respirators. We sell those to distributors. And in the healthcare crisis, we sell through half a dozen large, reputable distributors, and we have a strong partnership. We work with them to get product where it's needed. Senator Peters' comment about triage, that's exactly what we're doing. We're triaging to serve the most critical need, working with FEMA to ship directly, but also working with our distributors to get there. Prior to COVID outbreak, we were selling to 90% to industrial distributors, and they're selling to a broad range of customers. Some of that inventory has ended up in resellers, and those resellers are where this unethical, despicable behavior of price gouging is taking place. 3M, we have not and would never increase prices for our respirators during this crisis, and we don't sell to the highest bidder. We sell through these authorized distributors or directly to the government, and it's beyond that we go with DOJ and state AGs to really pursue these perpetrators. We bring our data online. We help with counterfeits. We authenticate 3M products. We work with e-tailers to make sure we're calling out those price gouging and resellers. So we're doing everything we can to help law enforcement take that on, and we have a supply chain that ensures in this crisis, and we monitor this every day, it is really a strong way an effective way to get the product to the customer. So that it's disappointing and unfortunate that resellers are out there taking advantage of this situation the way they are.